Our topic for today is how you can really identify market structure from your chart. So we'll be diving into the charts directly without wasting our time. And yeah, I'll be sharing my screen. And if you can see my screen, it's indicating the chart box with just with the number one. You can see my screen, please identify just type the number one. Okay. Yeah. So and I hope we can see my chart also clearly. So this is the BTC chart. And so here today we'll be talking about how you can draw your market structure, what we mean by it, and how you can spot opportunity, basically training your eyes to market structure. If I'm not mistaken. So market structure, that was the topic for last week. So today we are talking about break of structure. So last week, the last section, we talked about market structure and we defined and give the example on how you can draw your market structure. So basically, today we're talking about break of structure. So today is break of structure. And we'll start with the bullish scenario. So basically what we see in the market, like what we said the last week, I said last week, last section. So we know that market moves in waves and it does something like this. And at times it comes like this, and it comes again, and it comes again, does this. And the last time also, we told us that we can have we have basically, so I will make real life example before we even say we are diving into this. You know, as a trader, you want to know that you want to follow the trend. So when we're talking about trend, so in our initial classes for technical analysis classes, we taught us about what it means to have a trend in the market and what is trend. We defined that. And then we even talked about the trend line tool, which is this one, basically this tool here that we have that we can just draw on our chart like this, that we use to like draw trend. So for example, so let me just delete this. So for example, if I take my trend line here and I go like this is an uptrend. Why is it an uptrend? Because why? Uh, it's moving in an upward direction. So this I can call uptrend. So and then Mr. Abdullah the last time told us about how you can actually easily identify your uptrend by when you have your support and your resistance, right? So you have this now in this scenario. I draw another trend line now as this beneath here. So I want the class for tonight to be interactive. So when we draw the up line here, which is like the ceiling and the one beneath here, that we called it something, our last section. If anybody is here that attended the last section, please type in the chat box what do we call this up one here? The line, the trend line I draw up and the one I draw beneath it. What do we say it was? Was the uppermost one line I drew, and was the you might even have someone who is going to win money, some money tonight, you know. But what do we call this trend line? The up one, what do we call this middle one, this down one? You have someone who can, okay, someone said resistance and support. So which is the resistance, Mr. Ernest? Which is the resistance and which is the support? We should have someone who is, okay, the up one is resistance and the up one is resistance. Someone else said the up one is resistance. And someone said the down one is support. Okay, Mr. Kola, okay. Support down. Up is resistance, down is support. Okay. Anybody, please. Just that's Mr. Kola is even a new member and then just joined us the community not long ago. And yeah, I mean, this and Mr. Someone raised his hand. I think it's Leader Temitope. Please, Mr. Leader Temitope, you can just unmute and ask the question.
Okay, so literally you taught us last week, you made us to understand that the top there is the support and then the down is the resistance. That's what you said last week. But I think Mr. Abdullah never. So,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
So basically the both of it, and that's correct. That's correct actually. So both of it and the people also. So if you see Mr. Temitope, okay, actually reminded us now, and the people also who said in the chat, so you can see from that. So you can refer to the both line as trend lines because while you were using them to identify a trend in the market, either in an upward direction or in the downward direction. So now in this case, in this first scenario here, this is an uptrend. And in this case here, it's a downtrend. In this scenario here, it's a downtrend. Right? So if I was to and tonight we are talking about break of structure, right? So if this structure was, if we had these several touches here, right? I'll have these several touches. I have up to about 4 touches. So at a point, what we saw is the market going downward. At what point does this market actually came down? So now, this is not like a perfect drawing with them. Yeah, at a point we saw this market. There's what we call as an SMC trader. If you trade the SMC strategy, this is pure price action, right? So now we see that this trend here is going upward. At a point, it dropped here and then move upward again, and there was this change in momentum. So right here you can see the market was actually breaking structure to the upside, was creating higher highs and higher lows. If peradventure anybody is not following up and like it's not getting what we are talking about, you can call my attention and say, this thing that you are saying, I think I'm not understanding. And then I would explain. Maybe by just typing a chat box or muting and I'll just go back to it so as to carry everybody along. So now you can see as I'm drawing this my I said I wanted to make a real life example to us so as to show us what it really means, what's the trend. So now, for example, let me use social media that everybody is used to as an example. When there is a topic in the media, right? Even in we all used to watch TV news and all of it. So if anything is happening in Nigeria right now, price of food, every household, there's nobody who doesn't go to the market to shop and buy food and stuff like that. So if there's a price of gari or something like that that went up, rallied up, maybe from, I don't know how much, what's the current price of gari right now, the bag of it. I think the ladies in the house, they will know, or price of things and stuff like that. Just rallied up. Let's just use gari that everybody is used to and stuff like that. So if the price just rallied up, of course, every household will know that something is really that Gary is costly now, right? There will be like a trend. Everybody start to talk about that topic. Gary that used to cost this amount, now it costs really high, maybe 2 times, 2x the amount it used to cost. That's a trend, right? So suddenly everybody's talking about that stuff, and everybody's talking about, and that's a trend. Before you know it, maybe in a for a month, people consistently was talking about it, and also on the social media, on the media, even in real life, everybody is talking about it, that this thing that is costly, and this is the reason. Everybody giving their reasons why it was cost and stuff. So all of a sudden, before you will know it, that thing that they were talking, that topic about guy being cost, suddenly it will just uh, go down. Time by before you know it, in a period of a month, you will see people talking lesser and lesser about it. So this also applies to trade, right? And from here, let me come here. In fact, if you see from here, something, if this happened on Bitcoin, right? For example, let me draw the same trend line here so you can see. If I take my trend line here and I drew it from here the way I did with this example that I was giving you, and I draw another trend line up here and down here, and say, okay, what's the trend from here to this area? You can see that it has some multiple touches, and price was supporting and it was resisting as well. So something happened here. That's making Bitcoin like rally, that made it rally up to this head. And what could be the reason behind Bitcoin like pulling this move? Yeah, it's news basically. Something happened in the market, some news occurred, some economic news occurred before you could even see this, right? We talked about fundamentals, and what we said about fundamentals is that anything else that is different from technical analysis is fundamental analysis, which is the news. So anything new that has to do with economics, data of a country, and all of it, that's what is fundamental analysis. So we also have an analysis we do as traders that not every trader actually does this, but it also implies, that's sentimental analysis, the way people feel, or the way traders feel, or hedge funds or banks that trade these assets. So the way their sentiments is. So, for example, we knew about Elon Musk and Twitter. Whenever Elon Musk tweets about Dogecoin, you just see the coin, the pair rallies up and all of it. So on Bitcoin as well, whenever Powell or Trump at the moment, they just speak about Bitcoin, or any economic or any country purchases Bitcoin, or you see Michael Saylor made a new purchase, or they are making an announcement that they want to buy uh, Bitcoin, or a country bought Bitcoin, or there's a new innovation, you will see trend in the market, right? So now, what could we possibly call the trend of Bitcoin at the moment? If I just drew only this, if this is just the thing I draw, I just draw my trend line, and I'll pick my part two now. So if anybody knows the trend Bitcoin is currently on, right, you can type that in the chat box. Just merely from what I just drew on here on my so what would you say? What would we say Bitcoin is on right now? Is it a uptrend or downtrend? Okay, bullish trend, yeah, uptrend, uptrend. That's amazing. That's amazing. So now we said we want to identify. So before I just drew this. That shows that we are following up here. So we at least we can identify a trend just merely looking at it. So now if I come back to our example that I was giving here, so we said we wanted to define our structure. So now we know what's an uptrend and we can easily identify a downtrend as well. So what is the break of structure? So at times there is a trend that is going upward. You know, trend can something can. I just made an example with Gary right now. I said when there's a trend, it lasts for some period and then it changes. So break of structure now. So you can have a break of structure when there is a change in trend. So now, if we were having an uptrend and it suddenly becomes a downtrend because something like impacted the market, either the news or anything, right? And it suddenly changes the market. So we can say there's a reversal. So there will be a reversal. There's a rejection in price, right? Maybe price wasn't supporting or wasn't resisting again. So now we have the break of structure. So we have break of structure either to the upside or to the downside. So now in the upside scenario, so no, what we always have in the market is impulse move to the upward side, right? We have impulse move. That's telling you that okay, see for example from here, okay, let's just analyze just this area here. So we have this price of Bitcoin, which is currently at around 87,300, right? Current market price. And then if we choose our path to now, and I draw from here up to this high here and to this low, and now back to this up here, this upside, and now market is currently here. So now um how can we say where do we say price breaks the structure here? So now we were having an uptrend here. There was an uptrend here. And all of a sudden we see a pullback. So there was an impulse move to the upside that created this high, right? This higher high, because this was a higher high, and this high here. So there was an impulse move to the downside here, and it broke this recent high. Market came back to this high again, rallied back up. It came back here. So when it got to this price, which is around 85,600 and 681 dollar, market broke. So we call this break of structure. So market broke this high, right, and created a new high, which is this here. So now we can say a higher high. So it's Why do we say higher high? We call it a higher high because the high that the market created now, which price around here, around this high was at around $87,000. And from around 85,650, so it created a new high. And now pull back here to around 86,300, right? So created this impulse move backward from 85,000, it created 87,000. Then there was a pullback, which created 86, rallied back up again, and now we are here, current price. So now, for we to have a break of structure, market would first create a high, then there will be a pullback, and then market will come back to the high that it created before, and has to like break it because before we can say, okay, yeah. So if we were trading using just price action, which is support and resistance, Mr. Abdullah told us the last time to say, okay, what we will have is this. So we are trading support and resistance. So market was doing this, right? And it's doing this, and it's creating new highs in an upward scenario, right? So it was doing this. Market is being supported and is pushing back upward, going back downward, and then all of a sudden it breaks up, right? So there will be a breakout. So this breakout, the market was doing this. So here is basically the breakout. And this here is what we call a fake out. Because market pretended that it was going to break there, but didn't. And it happens a lot in the market. So as a good trader, you want to be able to spot this, because when you draw your trend lines correctly, right, you would know the difference between a breakout and a real breakout, a fake out and a real breakout. A fake out is just because market will always reverse, go back, just came here and test it, and the sellers, they pushed it back again, they'll push it back to this direction, and then the buyers, they push it back upward again. Finally, they were able to like, okay, so the sellers, they were tired, right? And when they are tired, they don't, the sellers, they no longer have money to buy, to sell the market again. The buyers, they took them out of the market, and then the markets finally broke out. You understand? So here, what you will be waiting for now is a confirmation to take a trade. So what would be your obvious confirmation? Right? What would be your like good entry would be you waiting for market to do this, and then wait for it to come back to this the previous support level, and then you take a trade. Sorry, rather your resistance level, so as you take a trade. So This is for the bullish scenario. For the bearish scenario, let me go on this chart. Sorry. Okay. Okay. And then we have it. And we can obviously see this is a downtrend, and there are consecutive break of structure to the downside. Like markets like creating lower highs. So this high here, higher, uh, this okay, higher high, higher low, higher is not bad. And then we have lower low. So here, basically, this is what market will be creating for you. It will be creating a lower lows and lower highs, and it will be breaking structures to the downside like this. So in fact, you see that from this low here, created this high, and then there was a pullback leg to this side, and then created this high again, and again you see it creating a low. So why do we say it's a low? Because one, this low here is lower than this one, and this low here also is lower, and this low here also is lower. So and you can see that also there is a high here, but this high here is lower, is higher. so on and so forth. And there are breaks in these structures to the downside. So, and this is what we refer to as a downtrend. And if I'll give you a real life example of it here on the chart. So, we're on 1 hour time frame here on Bitcoin. And here there was a downtrend. So you can see from here all the way here, there was this, and there was this pullback, and there was this, uh, and there was this. So obviously, markets from here again, it broke back and it's going to rallying back upward. But then, yeah, for the example I want to give, I'll just stop here so I show. So you can see here, basically from the same example we give, there is this high here, so there was a break here. There's a break of structure. And there was a break, there was another break here. Don't mind my drawing, even though it's not that straight, but yeah, just to show you, and then if you are able to train your eyes and you can spot trend in the market, for you to place your trade using your RoyalQ robot is very easy. So if you can spot your trend in the market already, because our aim as traders is to buy low and sell high. So you want to know what is the trend saying in the market. Okay, so Bitcoin, what is it doing today? So as a technical analyst, you want to know, okay, yeah, what's the trend of the market? So if I want to buy this asset really low, at what price is it good for me to buy? Is it very costly or is it cheap at the moment? So now you know that if it's currently trading downward, you want to set your margin calls and you want to be able to say, okay, yes, I'm confidently wanting to buy Bitcoin in a lower price so that when it rallies back up, I can confidently say this is the amount of percentage I'm going to make from it. This is the amount of money I'm going to make. So now, break of structure, we made the bullish example, and now this is the bearish scenario example. So now, if we were to make the bullish momentum example, this is a bearish scenario here. The bullish, so market after this bearish move, market later broke and was moving back to the upward side when it's, so we can call this a reversal, or we can say a change of character, but then we are not trading SMC. So this is pure price action. So now you can see, and here it goes, came back again, came downward trend, and you can see, and this is it. And when we say market moves in waves, this is what we intend. Real life scenario, you can see. So this is 1 hour time frame on Bitcoin, and you can see our examples clearly for the upward scenario, uptrend scenario. There was a break of structure here, and there was a break of structure again here to the upside. And when market got here, what did it do? It rejected this price, which is around 88,000. Rejected back to what price? Around 82,000. It rallied back upward and it was here. And currently, what price is the market trading right now? What price is Bitcoin trading at? Bitcoin is currently trading at 87,150. When we were still in this class, it was around 87,300. So this is how the market moves. It moves in waves. And with your robot, with your RoyalQ robot, you can take advantage of this because why? You are trading within a range. If you remember, we talked about in one of our previous classes, we talked about channel. So you can channel, use your channel, and then draw your support and resistance, and you trade within that range. You give your robot instruction, your RoyalQ robot, and you make money. So if there's any question up till now, you can type that in the chat box so that we can, if anything is not clear, you can ask, or you can unmute and just ask the questions. So when we talk about break of structure, that's what we intend. And when you are able to identify your structure in the market and you know, okay, this is when the market is breaking structure. We have also internal structure and external structure. So this has to do with when we talked about, I think 2 weeks ago, we talked about we doing a top-down analysis. So what's the top-down analysis? Top-down analysis is basically when you are analyzing your chart from the higher time frame to the lowest time frame, and you have a specific time frame that you are using for your entry. So you normally, when you are doing a top-down analysis, you want to start your analysis, use your higher time frame to identify the trend, and then use a lower time frame of your preference as an entry, right? But then for you to get your end, after you've done all these processes and combine this process together, right, with your indicators, the indicators also that we talked about, some of them, we will recap that again. The ones that we recommend to you for you to use, uh, plus the analysis and all of it, plus your fundamental analysis, that you are confident enough to come to the market and always make money. So plus that, you just go and instruct your RoyalQ robot, and then you place a trade, and then you continue to make money because why? Regardless of what the market is doing, you see the clearer picture. Is you are far more better than person who doesn't have the knowledge about technical analysis, who doesn't know the structure of the market, who doesn't know what's a breakout, who doesn't know what's a support or a resistance level in the market. So now you are able to say, okay, yeah, I can identify the trend by just merely looking at it and doing my analysis. So now, okay, when we are talking about structure, from here, exactly, this is a perfect example for me to show you what's a market structure. So a market structure will look like this. From the last topic we talked about plus today's topic, let's just combine what we did so you can get the clearer picture. So you take your part two, right? This is the part two here, right? And you say, is an uptrend, right? But for you to be sure, you draw your part two, you pick your highest high, pick the low, then you pick the other highs again. Since this is very close to this place, I won't pick it. I'll just come here and then take the recent low again, and then pick this, and then we come back here again, and then you see this is really not that high, so I'll just come here directly and pick here. In reality, this market is ranging at the moment. Even though it's an option, but it's still ranging. At this area here, Bitcoin is still ranging, right? So if you remember, we talked about ranging markets, right? So now, we see you draw from your recent high, and then you draw this again. If you want to do price action, you just draw your support and your resistance level. But here, since we are talking about market structure, we'll draw it like this way. So you connect from your recent high to the body of the other highs, right? Because why? Market broke this recent high. So whenever market, how do we identify a break of structure? When market creates a newer high that is higher than the previous high. So this was the previous high. What happened? Market came back, market pulled back. There's this impulse move to the upside, and there is a pullback to the downside. And there is this impulse move back upward, that broke this recent high, and then we have a break of structure here, which we normally refer to as BOS, break of structure, or BMS, which is break of market structure. So, but then I don't want to go too deep, but then that's why we said let's start from price action so that we can grab everything really easy. So this is a break of structure because it broke the recent high. So now imagine that you wanted to take a trade, right? As a symbol, as a newbie or so. This is where you make money, right? You know that okay, this is a confirmation for you to make money already. Just with this, you can make money. How? Now ask me how. If market created this new high, right? And the confirmation you are waiting for now, you know that okay, now when there is an impulse move, there will always be a pullback and market will always break. So now, if you are analyzing the chart, you are using the past historical, right, to trade. If market did this before, it will do it again. What happened? It did the same thing again. And that's why it's moving up. So now, if you are able to identify this in the market, you say, okay, now market is going to definitely do this again. So now you wait for market to come back. So what did he do? It's rallied up. There's a little pullback here to this area. And then what did he do? Impulse move to the upside. Then he did, what did he do again? Retrace and an impulse move again. So now imagine the market continues to do this. So now what do you want to do? You want to wait it for it when it does the impulse move, and then you wait for it, and then you get a confirmation, and you enter the market. So now what you do, take your buy two, place it, know your entry price, and you know your exit price. And then bam, you make money, and you continue this process, repeat it, rinse and repeat. So if there's a question, you can ask me in the chat box. So for our topic today, I did justice to it, and I also demonstrated to us the bullish scenario and the bearish scenario. And when it's a ranging, I didn't want to talk about ranging market, but because when the market is ranging, it's always better that you leave the market alone and not just trade in that scenario. But then when we have a ranging market, what we have is always like this. You have market creating equal highs and equal lows. So it does this for you. So you will see that it's an equal highs. The highs are equal and the lows also are equal. Uh, so in the ranging market, this is what you will see. Here's equal highs and equal lows. I think there's a question in the chat box. Let me see. How do you get confirmation before entering the market? What should one look out for as a confirmation? Okay, yeah. So if you are just trading price action, like what we are just, you want to wait for a retest. So you use your retest. So for example, if this was in this scenario here right now, so in an option in an option, right? Let me use an option because I'm advising that you stay out of the market when market is ranging. So if you have an option, right, and market is creating this, so I will show you different confluences, yeah, to be able to enter the market. But then one of the confluences you always want to wait for is a retracement that is going to so you wait for a retracement and then you take the trade. So you see that if market is creating higher highs and higher lows, if it has done it 2-3 times, you know that it's going to repeat. So now when there is a pullback from your pullback leg, you wait for it to break that structure, and then when it retraces, you take your trade from a certain level. So now, if market retraced and there is this scenario here, market has already done this, right? It has done this again repeatedly. So definitely you know that okay, this is where the market has been ranging. If it pull back to this level. So you want to wait for it at that same level. And I will show you how to do that in the next topic, we'll cover that as well. But today, since we are talking about break of structure, so you take your trade, the confirmation to answer your question, you want to enter at your retracement, and there are the levels in which we use to like get our perfect retracement. So we can also use, for example, our Fibonacci retracement level to enter, or we can also use, there are strategies in which we are going to teach you, right? Personally, I will teach you so as you can use that. We call them premium zones. So when you are using your FIB also, if you are used to your FIB, we will teach you how to use your Fibonacci levels so as to be able to know what is the premium zone in the market. So where you can buy, what's your premium, what's your discount zone. So you want to always buy at discount zone. So if it's premium, you know that okay, yeah, price is too costly at that level. So no, in this our retracements, right? There's a pullback, right? So if you know that there's a pullback and you want to enter at your pullback leg, where will be the best price to enter? So the best price will be teaching you all of that and how you can buy, and you can continue to always buy at the cheaper price, and then you will always be in profit. If you always be in profit, right? Quote me right. You always be in profit if you can identify the trend. And this is basically what every trader in the world will do. This is basically what we do daily. You want to, so since you don't know what the trend of the market will be saying, but if you are able to always identify the trend, I assure you, you'll always be making money. So if you can see also, there will always be a retracement. So if you know market structure, you are good to go. So these things that we're just teaching you right now, you cannot know the importance right now unless you start to practice daily. And once you get good at it, even without drawing your trend lines or using your pattern, you're able to train your eyes to be able to spot the trend in the market and be confident in saying this is an uptrend, this is a ranging market, this is a downtrend. Already you are good. So, but then it takes time. It takes a lot of practice to get it. So, is there any other question? I believe I was able to answer your question. Who was that? Mr. Ernest. So, there are some certain conferences the market is going to meet, and then so you always want to take your trade at the pullback. So, if you are trading just support and resistance, you also want to wait for the market to pull back to the breakout from the level where the market broke out from. So here now, you can say this is our breakout. This is a breakout, right? This is another breakout. So you want to wait for market to pull back to that level. But then at times it's not that sufficient because why market might pull back and then drop uh, even lower than that level. So that's why most price action analysis is not that always perfect. So you want to know market structure. If you trade with market structure, it's very great. Oh, that's great. That's great. Is it? I don't know if it's a lady, Miss Margaret. I think she is very patient. That's great. Thanks. So yeah, um, it's the first time. So are you a member or you are just a Miss Margaret? Is this are you a member or you are a prospect? Yeah, definitely, definitely. Ah, okay, okay, okay. That's nice. That's nice. So are there other questions? So for today's topic, we which is break of structure. So we talked about it, and I'm glad that you guys understood what do we say when it's break of structure and how you can identify it. So if there's any question regarding, you can ask, or if there's any part that's not clear. Definitely. We teach all of that here. Uh, we teach all of that here. So from what you have just said, so assuming I wanted to trade BTC now at the current price, I need to wait for the price to go down a bit, right? Yeah, definitely, because you always want to buy when the price is low. So, but then there is always you see prices, right? You always want to buy when it's low. So the question now you'll be asking Mr. Uh, so yeah, that's basically Mr. Kola. So that's basically what we are saying, right? So what you want to do is buy low and sell high. So if you want to buy low now and sell high, you want to always analyze your chart to make sure that you are not buying at a premium zone, right? So if market did this, it went up and you see that it pulled back again on and now it's going up. If you do your analysis very well and you also use other tools that we'll be introducing to you, you will know that okay, now I'm really you'll be confidently enough to say, I'm not buying at a premium zone, I'm buying at a discount. So this is where people are buying even cheaper. So now, if we were to do a clear analysis of Bitcoin, I don't want to rush us. That's why I don't really want to do the analysis and say, okay, let's just take a trade and stuff like that. But then I want us to complete all the old topics before I can start to say, okay, then we'll be doing analysis. Probably we'll also be bringing people on board from the members, from the knowledge you've gained. Once we cover the whole topic, we'll be bringing at least one person on board and then we'll ask them to analyze. And if they are able to do that for us, there will always be a prize also. So yeah, to answer your question, you always want to wait for a pullback. So if there is a rally, for example, there is this rally upward in the Bitcoin right now, right? There is this uptrend. There is this trend right now, right? You know that if Bitcoin printed up to this area here, it will definitely pull back, and it did this now, right? But then, is this the right price to buy at? Is it going to drop again? Or is it going to drop? Just this pullback is just the right one. You don't know if you don't do your complete analysis. You don't know if this is a premium zone or a discount zone. That's what you have to find out uh, from our next classes. We'll teach you how to do that, and you're able to identify that okay, this is the best place to that the price is cheap, and this is still costly. So yeah, I believe I was able to answer your question, Mr. Kola. If anybody's having a question, you can as well unmute or you just type. So in absence of no question, I would hand over to Leader Ocean to moderate a bit the situation because we've covered the whole topic. So if there's no other question, probably we have new members in the house. So as Leader Ocean, you can just take over, please.
All right, thank you so much, Abiola. Thank you as always for the amazing section. Okay, so I believe we do not have any other question. All right, thank you so much, everyone. Tomorrow we have our prospect meeting, which is our guest meeting. Please try as much as possible to start inviting your people now so that they can come tomorrow for our guest meeting, 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time. We have Zoom meetings every day, and we are here for you people. We are here to teach you people. So please try as much as possible to attend Zoom meetings. If you miss it for anything, please make sure that you watch the recordings. We are not here for ourselves. We're actually here for our team members. Please make it a habit to learn. It is very, very important to learn. We cannot overemphasize this learning. We're not doing Ponzi here. And because Nigerians love Ponzi too much, they tend to lose money. So please, RoyalQ is a very easy business. That's the truth. It's just that people don't want to do anything. We are very lazy. But it doesn't take you manpower. You're not going to go to what's it called? A site to be carrying pom pom. All you need to do is just get the knowledge. And that's what we are doing here. 1 hour daily, and you're good to go. It's a very easy business. I don't know why we are making it so hard, making it as if it's one serious work. Would you rather go and carry shovel or come to Zoom meetings, attend Zoom meetings, learn, and put it in practice? I don't know. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for coming out today. Tomorrow, please, let's show up with our people. Please, let us show up with at least one person. Can come with at least one person. We'll probably have a gift for you tomorrow. Don't come alone. Thank you to all our co-hosts, and also for the people here that take out time to actively learn. You will definitely get the results. There's no two ways about it. You will definitely get the results. So keep learning. And once you learn, you earn. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. And we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Bye.
Good night, everybody.